Welcome to Seattle, everybody. John Shambi and Jimmy Dykes, top 10 matchup, Kentucky and Gonzaga, the battle in Seattle. And we'll get a look at two great offenses and a great point guard, Gonzaga's Ryan Nembhard. Prior to the game, Jimmy Dykes caught up with Kentucky head coach Mark Pope and asked him what he's up against in Nembhard.
Ryan Nembhard leads the country, point guard assists. What's your biggest concern with him in this game?
My biggest concern is that he leads the country in assists. Actually, he's really special. You know, there's some guards. There's not many, but there's some guards that just understand how to move all the other 9 pieces on the board all the time. And he's playing chess when most guys are playing checkers. He's so talented, not just at understanding where all the pieces are and moving them with his eyes, moving them with his body, moving them with his spacing, moving off the bounce. But he also has got an unbelievable talent about finding little creases, little seams, timing up passes exactly the right way. He's really special, and that's why he's doing something that very few people in college basketball do.
Well, Ryan Nembhard is the oxygen to the number 2 offense in the country right now. His eyes lead the feet like all great point guards have. His vision, Boog, is outstanding, but this guy doesn't get sped up. He plays at his pace. But what he sees, how he surveys, how he moves the defense and his offensive pieces around, it is chess. He also throws strikes. No bad passes from this guy, whether it's a bounce pass to a shooter or finding the roll guy at the rim. Ryan Nembhard in a long line of great point guards at Gonzaga, right there at the top of the list.
So Nembhard and the Zags going up against Kentucky. We got a top 10 matchup. The battle in Seattle when we come back. Well, Seattle, the battle in Seattle. Number 4, Kentucky, and number 7, Gonzaga. Third straight year these two teams have gotten together. This should be an entertaining matchup. And the guy that leads Kentucky in scoring, the transfer from Oklahoma, Otega Owe. This should be an up and down affair. It should be a lot of fun. And welcome courtside, everybody. John Shambi and Jimmy Dykes. Start with this. These are two of the bigger brands in college basketball. The Zags in Kentucky. This one's got a big feel to it.
Yeah, no doubt, Boog. Both of them ranked inside the top 10 right now. It's kind of a preview, I think, perhaps to an Elite 8, maybe a Final Four matchup in March. Both these teams explosive enough offensively to get there. Now, there's a lot on Otega Owe tonight, considering Lamont Butler not dressed for Kentucky. That's a big hit to this Kentucky team. This is a downhill driving guard and a bulldog defender that could have gotten after Nembhard. As a result, Kirk Crease is in the starting lineup. Kentucky a man down tonight. I expect both clubs to play with a desperate effort, considering how big of a resume win this will be.
So big pressure on Kirk Crease. Started his career at Arizona to West Virginia, and now is with Kentucky. Amari Williams will jump it up for the Wildcats, and for Gonzaga it'll be Graham Ike as we get ready to go.
Some games just feel different prior to tip, and this is one of them.
Ike and Williams. Ike wins the tip, and it's the Zags basketball. Nembhard with it. And both these teams like to get up and down. And this is a game that could well be in the 90s. Ike with Williams on him, and the lefty jumper is good.
Yeah, Kentucky does a good job, Boog, of pushing him off the post. He just faces up with a 12-footer. He was big last year in their win at Kentucky.
What do they lose with no Butler as Crease launches and hits?
They lose one of the best defensive point guards in the country. That's how big of a hit this is to this Kentucky team on the road tonight.
Caleb Battle able to answer. You take a look at the starting lineups. Nembhard and Battle along with Michael Ajayi, Nolan Hickman. And Robinson, back and forth we go. Jackson Robinson, who came with Mark Pope from BYU.
Well, both teams very comfortable playing the game in the 90s. One of them averages 92. Gonzaga, Kentucky comes in averaging 90. A lot of shot makers at all 5 spots for both clubs.
Out of bounds. And it is 26th season. Mark Few, one of the deans of college basketball, highest active D1 winning percentage. 9 straight years they've gotten to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, and it's not about me is how I would sum up Mark Few. It's all about just how hard we play, how tough we compete, the quality we put on the floor. He is a jewel.
Owe finds Williams, point blank, can't hit. And it zags down one the other way. Battle. And Williams rebounds. Here comes Kentucky. Otega Owe leading a group that is very experienced. It's a transfer-laden Kentucky team. Carr inside, flips it up. Ike with the rebound. And here comes Nembhard.
Both teams like to open up the floor and heavy on ball screens, especially with Nembhard right there. And in the middle third of the floor, in that early transition ball screen, so difficult to defend.
Nembhard, like his older brother Andrews, the Pacers starting guard, first 2 years elsewhere. He was at Creighton Andrews before transferring to the Zags at Florida as they find Williams for the flush.
Well, that's one of the aces that Kentucky has in their offense now, that middle ball screen action for them. And they dive out of it with a vengeance.
Ike backing down, physical down low. That one is knocked away, and Ike gets it back. Hickman fires. And Ajayi with the rebound. Short on the putback, and eventually Carr pulls it down.
If you don't want to rebound against Gonzaga, you don't want to win. And that was the message from Mark Pope to his guys at noon today. Transition defense, battle on the boards. If you don't want to do it, don't get on the bus.
Krisa. Battle the rebound, pushes up ahead. Caleb Battle at the basket. Wow. Wave it off. It's on the floor. Ooh.
I think it was the right call as we look at this slip dunk by Kentucky a couple of possessions ago. That middle ball screen is opened up because the shooter's on the outside. No tag guy at all in the picture. And Mark Pope, he knows with Caleb Battle, what Battle has brought to Gonzaga this year, Boog, is a guy that puts fouls on the defense. Just a big, physical, scoring wing, 99-1.
Well, Mark Pope talked about the last 3 games shooting under 30% from 3 as Nembhard drains one and gives the Zags the lead. But he emphasized more than anything, he wants to see them shoot more threes. That's been the issue to him. He needs them to be shooting north of 30 threes a game.
Yeah, and the last 2 games, they have been under 30 three-point attempts a game. Now, Clemson's physical defense had a lot to do with it.
Carr able to track down the rebound. Now Williams finds Owe spinning inside. Nembhard. Ike. And that rattles home. And the Zags now lead it by 11.
A really good read by Nembhard to come off of it to his pace, read the drop coverage, and realized Ike is going to have a runner right in front of the rim, which he's very good at, Boog, for a guy his size.
Jackson Robinson finds Williams. Robinson at the bucket, in and out. Gonzaga in transition. Nembhard absorbs the contact, and that one is on the floor.
Well, we talked in the open. The oxygen of this Gonzaga offense is 0 in white. His tempo, his pace is always his style. Does not get rushed. Finds Ike with a little runner. Really well done by the Zags offense early.
Gonzaga with the early three-point advantage. John Chambi and Jimmy Dykes. One of the things these teams share in common, very experienced rosters. Take a look at Kentucky. How about the ages of this group? You look at Butler, Robinson, Carr, Williams, Brea, all 22. And then go back, Jimmy, the last 4 first-rounders, 21, 21, 20, 19. It's just different now. It's what you got to do when you need to reload, and that's what Mark Pope has done.
Well, it's different across college basketball. It's certainly different across Kentucky. And John Calipari, for the most part, built that program on young, talented guys. It was really good to him for the first 10 years, not so much the last 5. But now what Kentucky has done, they've gone in and just had completely put pieces together. And as old as they are, they're still very young. This is only their 9th game together as a Wildcat. So to Mark's point to us today, this Kentucky team is going to get better.
Yes.
And when they start playing instinctively on the offensive end, instead of having to try to still think a little bit, man, the ceiling for this Kentucky team is really, I think it's as high as anybody in the country.
81% of both scoring and minutes returning for Mark Few. That is the most in any of his 26 years, and top 5 in the country. EK backing down. Shot rattles out, and a rebound pulled down by Colby Brea. Brilliant shooter. Last year led the nation in three-point percentage. Picks up his dribble, and now Kerr creasing. Gonzaga leading 11-8 here in the early going. Carr harassed by Ajayi, and now Owe kick out. And a travel on Brandon Garrison, the Oklahoma State transfer. You think about Kentucky, you think McDonald's All-Americans. Garrison is the only McDonald's All-American on the Kentucky roster.
How about that? And Kentucky did not put a freshman on the floor in the game at Clemson on Tuesday night. That hasn't happened since back in 2006.
EK knocks it down. Remember, when these teams met in February last season, it was EK who had a big game, had 23 points, and yeah, there you see, there it is, 0 minutes in that loss against Clemson on Tuesday. You were there for that.
You know, Gonzaga watched that film, and what they saw was Clemson very physical defensively, making Kentucky cut through contact, blowing up dribble handoffs, blowing up and interfering with that zoom action. And Gonzaga has had a week to prepare for this game. They haven't played since Atlantis. If you're Gonzaga, make them hit your fastball. What is Gonzaga's fastball? It's that middle ball screen. You cannot throw a steady diet of the same type of coverage at Nembhard. He will pick you apart and go beyond that 10 assists that he's averaging so far.
Ortega Owe leading Kentucky with 16 points a game. He led them with 17 in the loss at Clemson. I like that. Where's
no doubt.
Double zero represents his name.
That's an easy call.
13-10, under 15 to go here first half. Climate Pledge Arena, the battle in Seattle. Nembhard, left-handed scoop shot, little strong. Garrison the rebound.
Kentucky's got numbers. Shoot it.
Robinson. And EK the rebound. Nembhard up ahead, battle at the basket.
Wow.
And it's good.
Book in 3 seconds, and you won't find a better transition long pass than what we just saw from Nembhard. He threw a strike like I talked about in the open from about 40 feet away.
Harrison gives off here. Brea with Hickman on him. Almanor not able to hit. EK another rebound. 6 points and 6 rebounds for Grand EK here in the early going. They get the foul, and EK will go to the line. That foul is on Colby Brea.
Well, there's no question who the head of the snake is for Gonzaga. And Nembhard just threw a bounce pass full speed from about 40 feet away that bounced up to Caleb Battle's belt. Exactly where you want it done in transition. And I had a great conversation with Nembhard after the shoot around today. What he looks for coming off of ball screens. He understands it, Boog, to the second and third level. Like if they hard hedge, I'm finding the tag defender, what my roll guy is going to have to work through. If it's drop coverage, can I get my own floater off or find my big guy rolling? Like he's next level in ball screen offense.
Dusty Stromer has checked in for Gonzaga, as is Braden Huff and Ben Gray. Colin Chandler here handling, and he gets bumped by Nolan Hickman.
Now, Mark Pope's going to go deeper in his bench tonight because of Lamont Butler not being able to play. And Chandler's a guy that's got a terrific future, talking about 5 in blue. The physicality of this game, he's going to be tested as a freshman on this floor.
And Chandler signed with Pope at BYU before going on a 2-year mission trip. And then followed Pope to Lexington. Here's Brea working on Hickman.
He will have no airspace tonight with Gonzaga's defense scouting report.
Shot clock under 10. Garrison left hand.
Just not a good shot. Off balance with the left paw. Low percentage two-point attempt.
Jimmy, I'm going to go ahead and say I won't say shot clock under 10 very often.
He will not.
Garrison the rebound and a Hickman miss. And a Wildcats down 7 back the other way. Oh, good look. Garrison inside puts it home.
That is so hard to guard. That transition ball screen out of an empty corner and right back at you. Gonzaga firing. I think Mark Few trusts his depth right now against this Kentucky team down a guy.
That one through the hands of Brandon Garrison, out of bounds. A turnover, and Mark Few's team with the basketball.
This is that transition ball screen. Bam, they set it on the open side of the floor. So Book, there's no defender in the corner to come off to take away that dive by Garrison. Really well done. Quick striking offense by both Kentucky and Gonzaga.
Climate Pledge Arena here. The battle in Seattle. Kentucky and Gonzaga. The top 10 teams. Nembhard step back. Got it.
If he wants to get 12 assists, he'll get 12 assists. If you make him a shooter, he'll knock down shots. Truly one of the top point guards in the country, along with Cam Jones at Marquette, Braden Smith at Purdue, Zakai Ziegler at Tennessee. Those guys come to mind along with this kid.
And Chandler threw it away. Yeah, Nembhard, the nation's leader in assists, came into the game with 86 of them and only 14 turnovers.
And he's a 35, 36-minute guy. He doesn't play tired. Few tries to rest him around that 12-minute media timeout for the most part. But a durable, tough kid. Only 6 feet tall. His brother's like 6'5". That's one of the big differences in their game.
Kicking off the basket left hand. And the kid from Seattle puts it in.
Mark Few's final 4 teams played with 2 point guards on the floor. He has that same thing this year with Hickman and Nembhard.
Risa rebounds the Brea miss, out of bounds. And when we come back, it'll be Kentucky basketball. Mark Few and Gonzaga here in Seattle with a 21-12 lead here in the early going.
Number 1 is laugh. You should laugh every day. Number 2 is think. You should spend some time in thought. And number 3 is you should have your emotions moved to tears. Could be happiness or joy. But think about it. If you laugh, you think, and you cry, that's a full day. That's a heck of a day.
Well, it's V Week at ESPN, the 18th annual V Week, when we partner with the V Foundation to highlight the urgent need for cancer research. It's game-changing research that helps save lives. You can join the fight against cancer by visiting v.org/donate. 100% of your donation goes directly to cancer research. And over the years, ESPN and the V Foundation have raised close to $250 million.
Well, please continue to donate towards that cause and the research. My mother-in-law, Robbie Prine, is battling her last probably hours because of that disease, cancer. So we're making a difference. We continue to fight.
Carr inside with the bucket, and Gonzaga's lead is 7. Nembhard directing traffic. Ball will be in his hands a ton. Stromer wide open. Got it.
Yeah, really good action. Floppy off the left side. It wasn't there. And they come right back on the right side. Stromer, one of those shooters with link boot that can make guarded threes.
Carr going to work on Greg off the glass and in. A Wake Forest transfer.
I like how Carr plays through contact. And he's a spinner, and Gonzaga's going to sit on that spin action. That time he did a good job of just barreling through the chest. And one of the rare turnovers by Nembhard.
Over and back.
2 possessions to go. Watch what Gonzaga does. They're going to run a shooter, Hickman, off the left side, off of a double screen, and then immediately the bottom guy in that screen, Stromer, just going to come out the other side. So a little different version of floppy, but still you're starting shooters under the basket, flying out to the side with violent scoring cuts.
And Huff with a little bump to give extra space for Stromer and a shot. Away at the basket. Puts it in.
That was a grown man drive. by Oweh, just almost making something out of nothing. Again, another body blow basket by Kentucky in this game.
Greg, he could hit that. Loose ball. Stromer strips it away. And then eventually the Landis Poole saying kickball.
Yeah, inadvertent nod. I'm pretty sure Nembhard did kick this basketball in a scrum for the ball, right? Yeah, I don't know. Man, that wasn't a kick. That was just a ball on the foot. Nembhard's got a right to complain. And there's that Oweh tough drive with that low, strong sweep, man. He just blows right by Battle with a forceful drive.
Nembhard hesitates. Huff backing down. Left hand flips it up and in. Braden Huff coming off a 14.4 rebound performance against Davidson.
Who he is money inside that three-point line is Huff. One of the better two-point percentage shooters in the game right now.
Huff pulls down the rebound. And Caleb Battle. Huff straight on three. Greg the rebound. An offensive rebound. Puts it home.
Well, what Mark Pope tell his guys, if you don't want to rebound, don't get on the bus. This is a Gonzaga team, plus 10 on the glass, and they just hammer you inside on their post-ups and their offensive glass putbacks.
Battle looking to push the tempo. Battle. Aggressive. Oh, wow! Look out! Caleb Battle to throw down.
What did we just see?
Back in Seattle, Jimmy Dykes right into your living room.
Just jackhammers the ball at the rim, battle in transition. This is the type of guy that Gonzaga has lacked the last few years. A big, physical, punk you at the rim guy. 99 in white, the transfer from Arkansas. And think about this. That was just pure nasty. And now Battle goes to the line. He has not missed a free throw all year, and that's the reaction that everybody got. Even the Kentucky fans in the building looked at each other with a little bit of a possible high five. Good gracious.
Yeah, Battle.
No foul called, huh?
No foul called on that one. And you mentioned he's knocked down 38 straight free throws. He's with his fourth school. Arkansas transfer, started his career at Butler, then went to Temple, then to the Razorbacks, and now with the Zags. So his fourth school, and that was a nasty dunk.
That was a message-sending basket from Battle to Kentucky.
Under 90 goal first half, 30-18. Gonzaga leading Kentucky. Mark Few, he's got himself another powerful team. As we documented, he returns 80%, 81 to be specific, of both scoring and minutes. Kirk Kriisa might have been a little shaken up. He's got some blood. And while they attend to Kriisa, Sunday's featured men's basketball matchup, it's number 25 UConn squaring off against Texas in Austin. Coverage begins at 5 Eastern on ESPN and the app. So UConn and Texas coming up on Sunday. You know, this is something that I heard you mention in that Tuesday game, but if you look what the last 20 years in college basketball, the week 6, if you go to the top 12, you will find a national champ every year.
20 straight years. The AP poll in week 6, which is the next poll coming out, the national champion has been inside that top 12, and that's, you know what, that's a lot of the importance of this game tonight. When you look at Gonzaga sitting there at 7, Kentucky at 4, but they've already lost 1. And that's an amazing run of 20 straight national champions. The reason we've gone through Feast Week, we've had champions, we've had challenges, and we kind of have a great idea who those top 12 teams are.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't mean you can't win it.
No.
It's just that it's a pretty good barometer,
no doubt,
for winning a national title.
What a
Crease,
pass.
kick out, Almanor. Offensive rebound. Almanor again. Got that one.
They did not let the first miss affect his confidence. That's how Kentucky wants to play. Again, they want to shoot over 33-point shots per game. They have not hit that number the last two.
Battle, hesitates, looking for some help, finds Greg, and he's rejected. Good defense by Kentucky. Are under 8 timeout. And the Wildcats down by 9 here in Seattle. Back in Seattle. That is a good look, sir. Kentucky down by 9.
Well, a good look for Kentucky is Almanor missing a 3, but then relocates, doesn't stand, and becomes another outlet. And those reload threes off those offensive rebounds seem to go in at a higher rate than other shots. And Mark Pope continues to feed his guys a ton of confidence. Interesting, he said 10 years ago he kind of changed his coaching style. He was very aggressive and right in the nose of guys, kind of like he played for under Rick Pitino, and realized his guys weren't playing well to that style. So much more of an encouraging, confident, teaching head coach now is Mark Pope.
Yeah, there's a vibe to it, and it is unique. It's different. One of the things they do in practice is the 5 minutes of silent free throws. And it's actually it's a cool space. He believes kids these days don't get a ton of quiet time. EK gets the crowd loud here, but he said he just wants the kids, they don't get a lot of quiet time, wants them to have space where it's silent and they can focus on just one thing. So they shoot their free throws on a game day. Right now, a 12-point advantage after EK knocked it down. Garrison buries one.
There's that confidence I'm talking about that Pope feeds his guys. And that's the first made 3-point shot on the year by Garrison, but he shot it with confidence. I do like Gonzaga, though, being physical on the dribble handoffs or blowing stuff up. When they switch move, they're switching high, not making Kentucky, or not letting them have easy, clean looks for the most part.
Battle rebounds the Nembhard miss. And then they get Battle for stepping on the baseline, and a turnover.
Gonzaga is going to set that middle ball screen, and this time EK is going to pop out of it. And he's not known as a 3-point shooter, but again, you get a pretty good look, and EK, good looking stroke for a guy that's now 2 out of 6 on the year.
A turnover, by the way, for the Zags, just their 3rd. Robinson. Garrison will try again. Loose ball, and eventually Almanor tracks it down. Robinson inside. Rebound and one. Garrison will go to the line.
That is a big-time effort by Garrison. I mean, he gets in there with a loose ball scramble and comes up with it. And his positioning, that we backed it up a little bit to see him sprint in.
Did they just get Garrison with a tech?
He reacted and he got in the face of a Gonzaga player, and officials have clamped down on that nonsense this year. I appreciate the play by Garrison, but then that little extracurricular right there, and quick on the call, Gregory Nixon.
Battle knocks that one down. In his career, 87% free throw shooter. All right, so down at this end, they get the foul on Michael Ajayi. And now Garrison will try for the 3-point play.
The long-term pro potential is there for Garrison, because you see his stroke. There's nothing wrong with it at all. He hasn't taken a lot of in his career. He's that long, athletic, eager to learn kid that could really grow into a special player.
Closing out 6 minutes to go. And the Zags leading it by 8. Battle. They almost lost it. Ike gets it, and he's fouled inside. Graham Ike has gotten off to a good start. 11 points and 6 rebounds. And a big lefty will go to the line.
That entire series, though, started with Nembhard driving that ball with a purpose. And he got Kentucky in a defensive closeout situation. And Gonzaga, once they got a piece of that paint, that backside opened up for Ike.
8-point advantage for the Zags. Make it 9.
Gonzaga, they are so good at getting the ball inside. And when you look at just post possessions in the country right now, they are 3rd in the country in their post possession usage. And they hammer that ball inside, and it all starts with that point guard, Nembhard.
UK knocks that one down. Well, you look at the transfer portal and how it has affected college basketball. Mark Few was really one of the guys that invested, so to speak, in transfers earlier than everyone else. I asked him, is that a little bit of an advantage in terms of today's world of basketball? He said no, but we know our culture. We know who we are. As Krisa knocks down that triple. Stromer the handoff. Nembhard gets it back. Ryan Nembhard finds Ike. Good feed and one.
That is next level ball screen offense by Gonzaga.
You said throws strikes. That was a strike to Ike.
Kentucky did a good job of forcing Nembhard out with pressure, but then once he comes downhill, he plays to his pace. The tempo that he wants to go with, you cannot speed him up, and he waited to the last second for Ike to come open and fired a strike from about 10 feet away. Hard play, made it look easy.
Nembhard, by the way, already with 7 assists. And Ike with 16 and 6 inside, and Brea gets it to fall. Kobe Brea, the kid from New York City, transferred from Dayton. Great shooter, does work inside there.
Yeah, the best shooter in the portal last year was Brea. He's shooting 60% right now from the three-point line. 2nd in the country. Make him put it on the bounce.
Ike rattles it home. What a first half for Graham Ike, as he's got 18. And remember, we told you last year Gonzaga got things going with a big win at Kentucky, and Ike had 23. Nembhard pulls down the miss from Brea.
Yeah, Kentucky went into Rupp Arena last year unranked, won that game, and that got on a hot streak all the way to the Sweet 16. And it was Ike with a huge game. What a pass.
And Ajayi is fouled. Michael Ajayi will go to the line.
Luke, the speed of Nembhard on film looks one pace. Courtside, he's got an extra gear. That burst, that explosiveness, really with either paw. Hard to guard.
And I know we mentioned it, but Dan Schulman did want me to mention he's from Canada.
I'm sure Dan's watching. He watches every game that he's not doing.
Yes, he does. Ajayi knocks it down. Sunday night, our women's college basketball matchup is a top 10 showcase between number 3 South Carolina and number 9 TCU. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern on ESPN2 and on ESPN+.
I'm big on TCU's team this year. They were picked 5th in the Big 12. I think they got a great chance to win the Big 12. Think about this. Oklahoma last year was picked 5th. They won it. I think we missed on the preseason expectations of that club. Haley Van Lith, Sedona Prince, a big 6'7" post player, and the 3-point specialist Madison Connor. That will be a game to watch.
Robinson hesitates, kicks it back out. Again, no Lamont Butler out with the ankle injury sustained on Tuesday. Chandler can't hit. Ike another rebound. Under 4 to go here first half. And Gonzaga has been in control. John Ciampi, Jimmy Dykes. The 2024 battle in Seattle. Emmanuel Inocenti into the game for the Zags. Battle looking for some space. That one deflected. Wildcats the other way.
Probably the best defensive possession by Kentucky so far in this game. They switched, they stayed in front of the ball. They didn't come off of shooters when Battle attacked that paint.
Bray looking for space with Battle all over him. Shot clock under 10. Carr weaves inside, had it knocked away. I think that was Inocenti. Feed down low, Ajayi off the glass and in and out. Gonzaga leading this one by a dozen. 2:50 to go here from Climate Pledge Arena.
Coach, he already has 7 assists. And he's coming off of a career-high 14 assists against Davidson down in Atlantis. I saw him. And I mean, his understanding, when you sit and talk to a guy and just say, hey, tell me what you see when you're coming off of ball screens. What are you looking for? And he explains it like a coaching clinic, like an NBA coach or an NBA guard would do. And that's what you're dealing with right now at Kentucky, trying to get Nembhard under control.
The lead is a dozen. Ike grabs the inbound, and he'll try a 3. That's short. Carr the rebound. Kentucky the other way.
For Gonzaga, you have to continue to be crazy physical with those side ball screen dribble handoffs that Kentucky thrives on.
That was a tough shot. Jackson Robinson trying to hit. These are 2 of the top 5 scoring offenses in the country. And 2 of the top 15 in terms of offensive efficiency.
That shot by Robinson is one of those out-of-character shots that Mark Pope said we had too many of against Clemson. Getting out of the offense, breaking off. All you created was a hard shot by Robinson.
There's Bray now. Robinson inside. Up and under, wouldn't go. Nembhard, Zags on the move. Hickman puts it on the floor. Travis Perry is checked in for Kentucky. Brea finds Carr. Thought about firing one up. Man, they have been on Kobe Brea. Just no space to shoot. And there's Perry. Ike the rebound.
Feels like a dangerous last minute 19, right, for Kentucky?
Yeah, long scoring drought for Kentucky. It's gone almost 4 minutes, and they missed 6 straight shots.
And because Gonzaga runs so hard from defense to offense, they get you mismatched probably about as well as anybody in the college game. And that's a good example on this play. Ike got mismatched because he ran so fast, so hard. Robinson was the last guy back and had to take him. And therefore the foul occurs. Gonzaga just clicking offensively on all cylinders. And the oxygen now finally gets a break, and Nembhard going to the bench.
How about Ike in this first half? 18 points and 8 rebounds for Ike. Brea picked it right up on it. Less than a minute to go here in the first half. Williams backs down. And Greg swoops in for the rebound.
Gonzaga again very physical defensively, blowing up anything for Brea. Physical in the post. Even that catch by Williams was, 2 or 3 steps higher than Kentucky would like to have instead of on that restricted arc.
Well, at the beginning of the broadcast, we talked about Ryan Nembhard leading the nation in assists, and you've documented the way he directs traffic, and he's been on point in this one.
Well, and we've seen it all. And he comes off down this first one right here and gets on that right side, and then the pocket pass. He has read the drop coverage to perfection. And that transition pass from about 40 feet away is as good as you're going to see in college ball this year. Again, a lot of this stuff is him getting to his right paw and just playing with terrific pace, and EK is diving right to the rim, right down the middle, and Kentucky's not tagging, they're not being physical. Allowing Zero to turn the corner is a problem.
6.7 assists for Ryan Nembhard, Andrew's younger brother. Nembhard, 7 assists here tonight and just 1 turnover.
243 assists, I think, last year for this kid. Was the single season Gonzaga record. You think about, man, the great point guards that come through here, from Stockton to Blake Stepp, Dan Dickow, Jalen Suggs, his brother Andrew Nembhard, Josh Perkins, on down the line. And that tells you how good he is.
Hickman has it, turns the corner, flips it up, and it rolls home. Nolan Hickman, he's got around 20 people here tonight. He hails from Seattle, 20 family and friends. So busy with the tickets, and he flips that one home. An 8-0 Gonzaga run. Carr inside. He's fouled and he'll go to the line. Andrew Carr.
Kentucky has not shot the ball well in this game. The issue for them is there's no resistance on the defensive end. If it's not Nembhard, it's Hickman just coming off and getting downhill, not stopping the ball, not blowing things up, not being physical, melting on screens. The same thing that Mark Pope's going to talk to his guys about at halftime. You're allowing Gonzaga to get halfway to 100 in the first half. They're coming off getting knocked around at Clemson, and now they come to Gonzaga. A brutal 2-game stretch will resemble what they're going to run into in the SEC.
And it's going to be a tough year in the SEC for everyone. The ACC found that out firsthand this past week.
And in Joe Lunardi's latest bracket, 12 teams out of the SEC are projected to be in that NCAA tournament, and that number could hold.
Clock winding down. Nembhard going to work on Owe. Just beyond the free throw line, knocks it down. What a first half for Gonzaga. Ryan Nembhard with the jumper with just under 2 seconds to go. And it's all Zags here in the first half.
You can climb up in his jersey if you want to, but you're not going to speed this kid up. And his balance and his lower body strength and his understanding, time after time after time, Nembhard has gotten to his right hand in this game. It's a big reason why Gonzaga has hung half 100 on Kentucky.
50-34, Gonzaga leading at the break. Time now to send it to the studio. It's our halftime report with the Zags head here in Seattle. We send it to Dowling Cup and Seth Greenberg. Welcome back, Climate Pledge Arena. And at the break, Gonzaga, number 7 team in the country, leading Kentucky 50-34. The battle in Seattle, and so far, it's been all Zags. Welcome courtside, John Sciambi and Jimmy Dykes. In our open, we talked about Ryan Nembhard leading the offensive attack. These are 2 of the highest powered offenses in the game, but Nembhard has been as advertised.
It all starts with him. He's the head of the snake. He's the oxygen for this high-octane Gonzaga offense. You look at his numbers, 7 assists, and all these players are going to his right hand. Now, he can go left, but he's outstanding when you let him time and time again go to his right. That pass in transition was as good as you're going to see all year at the college game. Now, he's had some help. EK has been outstanding, knocking down shots. 18 points for number 13 in the first half. Nembhard's understanding, Boog, of reading drop coverage, reading trap, reading hard hedge. It's as good as we have in the college game right now, and as a result, he's 8.7 assists and complete control of this basketball game off the bounce.
Yeah, just 1 turnover. Gonzaga turned it over just 4 times in the first half and shot over 50%. Kentucky got to find some answers really at both ends of the court, as they did not make a field goal the final 5:06 of the first half.
The bad news for Kentucky, Gonzaga has won 175 straight games when they lead by double figures at halftime.
Okay.
175 straight.
Well, and you look at this AP top 10 matchup. It's the 5th time in the last 5 years that in a top 10 matchup they've been leading by 15 or more at the break. So it's not just they play the big time teams, but they've had themselves some spots where they're blasting fellow top 10 teams. Nembhard picked up his dribble, needs some help. And now it's Battle. Shot clock winding down. Battle going to work against Robinson. Battle. And that one collected by Ajayi, and he puts it in.
Just got outworked. Kentucky did again to start the second half. That was just a want-to play by Ajayi.
Ajayi's been quiet, the Pepperdine transfer. And they need more of that. Jackson Robinson drills a three-pointer.
Kentucky shot 29% from the three-point line in the first half. That's 3 straight games and a half now that Kentucky not over 30%.
That's too easy. Hickman inside, gets right at the glass with the left hand.
Where's the resistance? I mean, you're dead on. Like, that's just too easy.
Kriisa gets inside, flips it up and in.
Kriisa gives Kentucky a swagger and a confidence that they need. He's getting a lot of minutes tonight because of Lamont Butler not being able to play. If you're just now joining us.
Battle inside, off the window, and in. Caleb Battle with 2 more.
It feels like Gonzaga can take the ball anywhere they want, anytime they want against this Kentucky defense.
Caleb Battle with 11.
The Zags come out of the half, and Battle takes a bad one. They just gets outworked by Ajayi just pursuing the basketball. But now look at all these drives, just opening up the hips, not staying in front of the ball, playing through contact. And it's multiple guys from Gonzaga right now individually winning their one-on-one battle.
Otega-Oweh here. Oweh hesitates, gets at the basket, a little too strong. And a rebound picked up. Oweh puts it in. Otega-Oweh, his brother Odafe, the linebacker with the Ravens. And Odafe put together a good year this season for Baltimore.
No doubt. And Kentucky's in that spot right now where they got to get back-to-back stops and back-to-back makes. And they need to string several of those together right now.
What do you want to see them do at the offensive end?
Well, they haven't ran their zoom action a lot. They haven't ran their DHOs very well. They just have to be more physical, I think, is what Kentucky has to be right now.
Well, speaking of that, Carr absorbs the contact and he'll go to the line.
I just don't think you can finesse jump shot your way back into a hard game, especially on the road. And Mark Pope calls the number for Carr, who's pretty physical, does a good job of getting his left shoulder and doesn't open up and let Ajayi get to the ball.
Kentucky had a good win to begin the year over Duke, and Carr had a team high 17 points back in that win over Duke.
Yeah, he's a tough match. Now Mark Pope goes to a 1-3-1, a handful of possessions Kentucky has played all year in this defense. But you've got to do something. You got to throw a curveball, something at Gonzaga to try to change the game.
EK thought about finding Nembhard. Shot clock is at 5. Nembhard working on Oweh. Hickman. And Kentucky able to grab it and go the other way.
Now Kentucky played zone the entire possession until about got under 10, then went man-to-man.
Robinson feed inside, and Williams with the two-handed stuff.
So Kentucky has changed the game. Mark Pope just one possession of the zone that ended up to man gets a key stop. And now Kentucky playing with force, Boog, on their offensive end. It was Carr the last possession, and now Jackson Robinson drives that ball. Instead of throwing up something off of 1 foot, he plants 2 and finds a backside, and all of a sudden, got a ball game in Seattle.
Back here in Seattle, John Sciambi, Jimmy Dykes, a 7-0 Kentucky run. Hickman with Owe draped all over him. And they get a foul inside on Amari Williams.
So, Boog, all Kentucky's doing, they're showing zone alignment, 1-3-1, but then they're quickly going right back to their man-to-man, just slowing Gonzaga down a little bit, trying to confuse him, make him think, take that early ball screen action away from Gonzaga by showing zone.
And they get the foul again on Williams. So for Amari Williams, his 3rd foul. And immediately Brandon Garrison is going to check in for Williams. Hard to trigger on the baseline. Gonzaga leading by 10. EK inside. And then just a little too strong at a point-blank look at it. Creasa inside. And I think they get a foul on, Ben Gregg.
Yeah, just like Gonzaga running hard in the first half, and EK drew a foul. The same credit now has to go to Carr, who sprints and gets in front of the defense and forces Gonzaga to foul to keep that entry pass from coming in.
Jackson Robinson catches. Creasa finds Carr, cutting to the basket, and he lays it in.
That's Kentucky offense right there. That dribble handoff action with an empty corner, no help, and a very good pass in a tight spot to Carr.
11 for Andrew Carr. EK in close. That wouldn't fall. He's had a couple of point-blank looks and hasn't been able to make it. Always fouled as he goes aggressively to the rim. And this is a different-looking Kentucky team here to begin the second half.
How about the fight back by Kentucky, man? If you're a part of BBN, you got to stay up and appreciate what Kentucky has done coming out in the second half. That side empty naked corner action by Kentucky is good to them so far. But Kentucky, they grade out excellent on synergy and transition, ball screen, and dribble handoff action. Hold it right there, guys. And this is a naked corner down here. That corner is empty. And all the actions on the right side of the floor, which opens up that ball screen, dive out of it, make a pocket pass play to Carr. That is Kentucky's strength offensively. And the more of those type plays they have in the second half, the tighter this game could possibly get.
Mark Pope's team 6 of 7 shooting from the floor in the second half. And right now the deficit is 8. Owe to the line, and Otega Owe will shoot 2.
Well, there's a lot at stake in this game. This will have life shelf through the next 3 months. Kentucky's going to be a major factor in the SEC, which is the power conference this year. There's been some separation between the SEC and everybody else. And Mark Few knows he's got a chance right now here in Seattle to put a good one on that resume.
I think I'm not going to let you get away with saying life shelf. I think I'm going to correct it and say shelf life.
That too, it has both. That's how good this win will be. Did I say life shelf?
You did. Love you. From the corner, Hickman. And Caleb Battle. Nembhard. That won't fall.
This ball will go in. Surprise. You get
Hard the rebound. Look out.
2 or 3 offensive rebounds, you seldom miss.
6-point game. How about Kentucky? It's an 11-0 Kentucky run. And Robinson able to hit. It's down to 4. Battle, little pocket pass. Greg rattles that one home.
A really good find by Battle not to force it himself. And again, Gonzaga, that middle short roll action has been so good to EK and this time Greg.
Gonzaga had been 0 for 8 before that make. Jackson Robinson, elbow jumper.
I got it.
Oh, the loose ball, Creason. And had the opportunity there to get it back to within 4. Up inside, left hand. Wouldn't fall. Greg pulls it down. Huff again, step back, short that time. And Jackson Robinson comes away with it. Kentucky showing a lot of fight here in the second half.
And Mark Pope slows it down. Now he's got the play calls in front of him. Now Kentucky fixed the problem in Tuesday night's loss at Clemson in the second half on the glass. Great teams fix the problem now, not the next day. And we're seeing some of that from Kentucky right now in the second 20 minutes.
Creason in and out. Hickman to Nembhard. 3 wouldn't go, but Greg, an offensive rebound.
More 3 straight possessions by Gonzaga. They've gotten an offensive rebound out of it. Well, they will pound you on the glass, this team in white, but Kentucky, their fight back has been Kurt Creason turning the corner, hitting a tough 2. Jackson Robinson playing off of 2 feet, find the backside, and the beautiful naked corner dive by Carr. And Jackson Robinson just with a tough fadeaway, a 6'6" guard that can make guarded shots. Kentucky is more than back in this game.
58-52, under 13 to go. Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle.
Kentucky shows that zone again, but then they're quickly into their man on the first pass.
Feed inside, Huff, and they wave it off.
Shot clock violation, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Huff cut in front of Brea just a second too late.
So 6-point game. With Kentucky gaining confidence. Brea lost his footing. Kobe Brea's been quiet. And that one chipped away. They get the foul on the Zags. It'll be on Ben Gregg. Sunday we'll have the exclusive reveal, the final college football playoff top 25 rankings. It's a 4-hour special. Reese and the fellas will break them down from top to bottom, unveil the matchups for the new 12-team playoff. It all starts noon Eastern on ESPN and the app.
Big day in college football. How about Arizona State in the Big 12 picked, I think, last in that league or next to last? And Arizona State with a Big 12 championship.
Clemson up a touchdown. With about 4 minutes to go. That one inbounded by Travis Perry, who's back into the game. Brea fires and hits.
Big time shot by Brea. Gonzaga made him bounce at one time, but he got a clean look at it. He is second in the country at 60.5% from the three-point line.
The kid from Washington Heights, the godson of Felipe Lopez, Kobe Brea.
Man, how this game has changed. The fight back on the road by Kentucky, so impressive.
Nembhard. Greg fires. Loose ball. Brea comes away with it. Kentucky down by 3. Olway aggressively at the basket. Loose ball. And now Battle pushing ahead. Nembhard, good find to Greg. Brea, looked like he got all ball.
Well, we said off top that this feels like an Elite Eight type game, and it has certainly felt like that in the second half. And the play has gotten much more physical. Kentucky now ringing the bell as well. Brea, you cannot go under an elite shooter like Battle just did. Kentucky, you look up, 58-55 in Seattle.
Back here in Seattle, Gonzaga leading Kentucky by 3. John Chambee and Jimmy Dykes. Graham Ike 18 and 8, but all those numbers in the first half. And in the second half, Kentucky has come out on fire, 8 for 12 and a 16-point advantage. Gonzaga is led by as many as 18, and it's down to 3.
Well, Kentucky much more aggressive, Boog, on both ends in this second half so far. Now, what has helped Kentucky, they've also made 2 out of 3 in the second half from the three-point line. And it's a team that, again, they want to shoot 30 or more threes. That's straight from Mark Pope. The numbers are going to be there in terms of attempts. Do they have enough makes? But what they have done, Kentucky, again, they have not jump shot their way back into this game. They have driven the ball and played with much more force around the rim.
Greg gets them both. 60-55. Under 11 and a half to go in Seattle. Got a good atmosphere and a good crowd. Full house here at Climate Pledge. Crease rattles out, and Huff pulls it down. Nembhard off the back of his foot. He lost it for just a moment. And an offensive foul.
Those are the type plays that Kerr Kriisa has made throughout his career. He's got a gambler's mentality really on both ends, but sometimes that gamble pays off. He just jumps right on that right hand of Battle. A 50-50 call that goes his way, but that's the spark and the passion that Kerr Kriisa brings to this Kentucky team. Nice haircut, by the way, while he was on the West Coast. That's like within the past 24 hours he goes to the buzz cut.
Offensive rebound and a putback, Garrison.
We just didn't see those type of plays by Kentucky in the first half. Those body blow plays you have to perform in a hard game like this.
Hickman turns the corner. Feeds Greg. Size advantage on Brea. Off the glass.
Big time.
And Greg to the line.
Gonzaga is so good, man, at getting you in a mismatch. Greg dives out of that ball screen. Now Brea is undersized, doesn't fight to get around. And Greg makes him pay.
Big Ben Greg coming off a 24-point performance. 8 rebounds in their win against Davidson. He averages 9.5 and 5.
He's also an 83% free throw shooter. Gonzaga, one of the better free throw shooting teams in college ball coming into tonight. 82% overall at the club.
82% is going to get it done.
No doubt.
6-point lead. Feed to the post. Carr off the window and in.
I love what Mark Pope has done with his offense. They are hammering that ball inside and matching Gonzaga with what they like to do with their post-ups.
Nembhard. DK's been quiet in the second half, I'll say. And they get Jackson Robinson with the foul.
Now Robinson lucky he didn't get teed up because
Very much.
he knocked that ball out and sent it into the stands. When you come to double, you can't come to double to foul. And Kentucky was coming with Carr and Robinson, and they foul Ike and bail him out. That play right there could have easily been a technical on Robinson. Pope saw it, pulls him out to calm him down.
So Robinson and Garrison will sit. Ike to the line. Ike looking for his first points of the second half, and he misses the front end.
Carr has to be involved in this possession, you think? As good as he's been.
And here he is.
Yeah.
And they get Ike with the foul. (63-59), 9:31 to go. And a reminder, next Saturday's SEC Network's men's basketball triple header. It's number 13 Florida hosting Arizona State. That's at 3:30 Eastern. Then Georgia and Grand Canyon. And the night capped off by 10th ranked Alabama hosting Creighton.
Boog, Florida's as good as anybody in the SEC. I know Auburn and Alabama, Tennessee's probably going to be the new #1 team in the country. I think Florida's right there with the best of them. That trio of Elijah Martin and Walter Clayton Jr. and Will Richard on the perimeter can play with anybody at those 3 guard spots in the college game. Carr saying he got hit in the head, so they're going to the monitor, I think, to look at it.
Just to make sure it is not a flagrant.
Yeah. Yes, he flashed right here. Oh, yeah, he got raked across the face by Ike, but I mean, Ike's just trying to make a defensive basketball play. That's a hard slap down. I guess they could view that as excessive and unnecessary, but to me, Ike just making a swipe down play on the ball.
Right. But he did get him across.
Yeah, he did.
Here, the forehead or the face first, right?
Right
there.
There, yeah. And you can't judge intent. You just go by what the play results in, and that was hard contact, obviously, to the face of Carr. And this could get escalated to an F1. I wouldn't be surprised either way.
The Landis Poole coming over to let us know what they're going to end up doing, but Carr, as of now, drawing the contact. Jimmy Dykes, what do you got?
Well, they're going to stick with a common foul. That was what was called on the floor. They take a look at the monitor, and they say we're going to just stay with a common foul.
Away, lost it for a moment. Loose ball, Krisa with it. Brea from way downtown, and that missed everything. And the fans let him know it. 9:19 to go here in Seattle Climate Pledge Arena. Gonzaga has led most of the way, and they've led by as many as 18.
And Boog, what a crowd, right? There's not an empty seat in this arena. Two of the biggest brands in all of college ball, Gonzaga and Kentucky. That's probably the end. Their shoots are too good.
Hickman not able to hit. Carr working on Greg. Carr inside, in and out. That's tipped out. Krisa lost the handle. Might have rolled his ankle. Nembhard off the glass and in. I'm not sure what happened to Kirk Krisa.
And he's grabbing his calf, which makes you think it's a cramp. Right there, you can see that's when it first hit him. But you got to appreciate Krisa to not give up and get back and at least throw up a wall and try to make it tough. And that's a big story with Lamont Butler already out tonight because of an ankle injury, and that's what got Krisa in the starting lineup. And you hope it's just a cramp.
And Lamont Butler in the sweats, an ankle injury in the second half, injured his right ankle, just rolled it non-contact situation. Good physical point guard, their top assist guy. And so without him, it was a rough first half as Gonzaga went to the break up by 16. Krisa, yeah, it appears to be a cramp. 8:41 to go. And a 6-point advantage here the second half. Andrew Carr and Kentucky have pushed right back into it.
Well, you forget or don't realize how big Carr is. He's all of 6'11" and 230. But man, is he good on the move. You can throw him the ball about any situation. He's got a good set of paws, doesn't fumble things in traffic. And he has been a force in this second half so far, doing damage around the rim, getting fouled. And Mark Pope continues to get play calls for big number 7.
So the Zags leading it by 6. 8:41 to go here. Kriisa will come out of the game as he deals with an apparent cramp issue.
And now Jackson Robinson actually has played some point under Mark Pope at BYU, and he's going to assume the point guard duties for a few minutes here at least. He and Owe will be the primary handlers. But now Jackson Robinson goes from that 6'7" shooting guard to actually a point guard. And if you're Gonzaga, you try to get all over Robinson and prove that he can handle this thing under pressure.
Nembhard right up on him. Brea. The deficit is 6. Brea feeds the post. Williams working on EK. Williams banging down low. Shot's a little strong, but Owe comes away with it. Well done, Otega Owe.
Yeah, Carr kept it alive and Owe ran it down.
Owe, quick disadvantage on Greg, but he overshot it. Stromer pulls it down, and they get the foul on Andrew Carr. 8 minutes to go in this one, and in Seattle, a top 10 matchup. We get a good one. 65-59 Zags.
I love competing against them.
Well, there is the jersey number 10 retired here at Climate Pledge Arena. Sue Bird, part of the Seattle Storm team that won the championship of the WNBA 4 times. You think for a second, she won a WNBA championship 4 times, 5 Olympic gold medals, twice the NCAA tournament. Pretty amazing the amount of winning that Sue Bird did.
Yeah, one of the best to ever lace it up in the women's game. And what I look at that women's side of basketball this year, multiple teams, maybe 9, 10, 11, 12 teams legitimately could win that national championship this year. Normally by this time we're focusing on just 4 or 5. That number has grown in my eyes a lot this year to 11 or 12 possibilities.
Dusty Stromer at the line. Can't hit. Stromer, career 82% from the free throw line.
Luke, this is the worst 3-point percentage team that Mark Pugh has ever had at Gonzaga. They're 0 for 9 from the 3-point line in this second half.
Nembhard chasing Jackson Robinson all over the court. And a flush.
I'm telling you, just keep going to Carr. To me, he's quicker than those bigs of Gonzaga, diving out of those short roll actions and just brings the hammer.
Andrew Carr with 15. A 4-point game. Stromer, hesitation, reverses it, but it goes in and out. Off the glass, wouldn't fall. Garrison the rebound.
And what does Mark Pope want? He's been play calling everything. I would stick with number 7 at some point.
To the corner, Owe. Greg pulls down the rebound. And the Zags with the ball and the lead under 7 to go. 65-61. John Shambi, Jimmy Dykes with you.
And Nembhard has not gotten to that right hand coming off ball screens in the second half.
Carr got Greg on the elbow.
Andrew Carr with 13 points. He's just very fast, and when he pivots out that ball screen, Boog, his eyes, boom, right there, his eyes find the ball quickly. And Carr has been a very difficult matchup for those Gonzaga bigs in this second half. Diving out of those ball screens, either short roll or all the way to the rim.
Greg's not able to hit.
Well, Gonzaga has missed easy ones at the rim. They've missed wide open threes. They're starting to miss free throws. Kentucky feeling a lot of momentum on their side.
Remember, the lone loss for Gonzaga was in the Bahamas against West Virginia. They were up 5 with, what, 20-some-odd seconds left.
Couldn't handle the press, which is unusual when you got 2 experienced guards on the floor. Tuesday night, Tennessee will probably and should be the #1 team in the country when the poll comes out on Monday.
Some pressure from the Zags. Nembhard, Ajayi as they get it off. Brea fires. Away the rebound. Off the glass, wouldn't fall. Tip.
I think that was Battle that came in there and battled.
EK.
And watch Kentucky fight on the glass. And it's multiple guys. Oway went and got to start with, but Battle right here comes up with a big tip.
EK at the line, he'll shoot 2. He was going up against Ansley Almanor, who was pleading his case with the officials and saying that it was EK that was initiating contact with the right elbow.
Yeah, he delivers a pretty good shot right here. Watch the end of this play. Watch EK right there. When you talk about dislodging a player,
yeah.
EK got away with one initially.
It's what it's like working next to you sometimes.
It is. Dislodge me.
Yeah. Physical analyst, Jimmy Dykes.
7 versus 4. It felt like coming into tonight an Elite 8 Final Four matchup. And that's where we are with just under 6 minutes to go.
You get the foul on Michael Ajayi. That's his 3rd. And remember, Gonzaga has won 175 in a row when leading by 10 or more at the half.
That is an amazing streak that Kentucky is a serious threat right now to put a period at that end of 175.
Almanor got it. I tuned into, I'm not sure which game it was, with you and Dave O'Brien down in the Bahamas. And you come back and Jimmy's just holding a card that says 174. And I'm thinking to myself, what is going on? And then you explained it.
Keeping it simple.
Almanor gets them both. And Kentucky within 2. Under 6 to go in Seattle.
And here's that zone look again. And on the first pass, Kentucky now matches up. Nembhard in ball screens in the second half has just not been effective at all for Gonzaga.
EK inside, right hand, got it.
They are the 3rd best team in the country, Gonzaga, in terms of the number of post-possession usage. Mark Few continues to play that card.
EK with 21. Garrison, good find. Jackson Robinson puts it in.
Just a hard check cut by Jackson Robinson to pass and then come off that curl. A NASCAR cut on that left side.
Nembhard, screen from EK. EK gets it back off the glass and in, plus tax.
Well, eventually that middle ball screen is going to come into play for Gonzaga. And Nembhard just a couple of times in this second half has been able to get to it. But on the other end first, This little NASCAR cut by Jackson Robinson just right here on that left side, just turns on the gas pedal and beats Nembhard to the rim. And then right back at it, Nembhard goes to his left and finds EK rolling all the way to the rim. The pass delivered right on target to 13 in white.
Graham EK, the transfer from Wyoming. Again, it was last year when these two teams got together. And Gonzaga, unranked, used a win at Kentucky and 23 points from Graham EK to get their season going, and eventually on to their 9th straight Sweet 16. 5-point advantage. Gonzaga with the lead, but Kentucky has fought back. They were down by as many as 18. Brea with Hickman on it. Feed inside, Carr. Carr banging down low, feeds to Williams, and the flush.
It's all about Andrew Carr in the second half. Whether he's scoring or the gravity ability to draw a second defender to him, frees up Williams on the backside.
And let's consider for a second Kentucky doing all this without their top 2 point guards. Nembhard, EK, a couple of ball fakes, had it knocked away, and then puts it in. No Lamont Butler for this game, and Kirk Crease has been on the bench since suffering what appeared to be some cramping. Under 4 to go, the lead is 5. Robinson. Oh, and it goes. That's a 2.
What a soft shot, though, by Robinson. You shoot line drives, you don't get that bounce.
He withdrew from the draft right before the deadline and then followed Mark Pope from BYU to Kentucky. Nembhard gets it to Ajayi. Battle's been quiet the second half. Left hand, and he bullies his way to the basket.
That big driving small forward that Gonzaga has lacked the last few years. Just got a big one with Caleb Battle.
Robinson. Brea in the corner. And Williams.
Two of the biggest brands in college basketball going blow for blow. Andrew Carr has been a force in the second half, playing through contact, and Jackson Robinson with the soft stroke and the shooter's roll. But on the other end, Caleb Battle getting to that left side. We got a heck of a finish in Seattle with under 3 to go.
Folks, Sunday's featured men's college basketball matchup. It is number 25 UConn squaring off against Texas in Austin. Coverage begins at 5 Eastern on ESPN and the app.
Have you seen Trey Johnson from Texas?
I had
freshman, yeah, man, averaging over 20 points a game. You look at those freshmen across the country. Dylan Harper at Rutgers, to me, is the best freshman right now in terms of projecting a pro. Obviously, Cooper Flagg, the Demon kid at BYU, that outstanding freshman class.
You look at the game summary, EK with 26, that's a game high. Andrew Carr has helped lead the Kentucky comeback. And in the second half, a red-hot Wildcat group, 52%. Zags led by 16 at the break. It's a 5-point game.
And Gonzaga only 1 assist in the second half for Andrew Nembhard. And Mark Pope's a smart guy. He changed his defense up just enough to get Gonzaga kind of out of their ball screen rhythm. And as a result, has changed this game. And Kentucky now only down 5, down 16 at the half. And Andrew Carr has led the charge for Big Blue Nation.
Amari Williams, the kid from Nottingham, England, the Drexel transfer. Gets that one.
3-time Colonial Athletic Association Defensive Player of the Year is this kid.
He's unique, though, right? Because you've described him as an initiator to some extent.
A play starter up top. Now, he's a much better play starter going left than he is right, but he still initiates that dribble handoff zoom action in a one-possession game. And that 175 or 76 now straight.
175.
Gonzaga leads by double figures at the half. That's how many they have won in a row.
Two of the top 5 scoring teams in the country. EK. Soft jumper, short. Bray of the rebound.
And that time Kentucky went zone and stayed zone the entire possession.
They get a foul, and that'll be on Ryan Nembhard.
Luke, there's a lot of pressure on Jackson Robinson being the point guard right now, and he has handled it really well the last about 3 minutes probably.
Yeah, no Kirk Kriisa out after suffering the injury. The last foul on Nembhard, his first.
You mentioned that Jackson Robinson was a late guy to pull out that NBA draft and went to Kentucky. And he said the reason was very simple. Mark Pope changed my life at BYU. And Robinson, the kid that did not get a lot of run at Texas A&M or Arkansas, found new life under Mark Pope and has really blossomed into a tough cover. What a game.
1-point game here in Seattle.
It's a big zone that Kentucky's throwing at you right now. A lot of wingspan to work through. That's still a zone. They have not gone to man yet out of it.
Good feed. Wow. EK finds Greg, and they go a little high-low there.
Yeah, from the mid-post to the short corner. Terrific interior passing by the Zags.
Carr gives it. Jackson Robinson. High arcing shot. That'll go smooth.
Probably the best Jackson Robinson has played in a Kentucky jersey.
16 points for Robinson. And the kid from Oklahoma along with Andrew Carr.
There's that last possession by Gonzaga. Against that Kentucky zone, they go mid-post. And then Greg just playing out of the dunker spot right there. That's an easy to play behind the zone is what Gonzaga did there with Greg. But then the answer, Jackson Robinson. This is a 6'6" kid that's forced to play the point guard to close out this game for Kentucky. Not a turnover yet by Robinson. He's found his offense. He's kept Kentucky running their offense. And man, what a finish we're set for. Both clubs right now in the double bonus. Kentucky playing shorthanded. No Lamont Butler, no Kirk Kriisa. Trying to come to Gonzaga and steal what would be a big, big win. Kentucky, they lost Tuesday night at Clemson. They felt like they learned from that.
Packed house, great atmosphere in Seattle. And a game Kentucky trailed by 16 at the half. And you worried a little bit that they were fixing to get the doors blown off.
We did not see any sign in the first half of the game flipping. But Mark Pope obviously got into his guys at halftime and changed the game.
EK going to work on Williams. EK inside, nice move up and under. Wouldn't fall, but he's fouled. And they continue to feed the post.
It's pretty clear where Mark Few wants to go with the ball. Against man or zone, they are hammering that thing inside. The numbers back it up. Gonzaga has not shot the three-point ball well at all season in terms of Gonzaga standards. And certainly in this game, the three-point shot has not been there. So just hammer it inside to your size.
The last foul, by the way, on Jackson Robinson. It's his fourth. 1 out of 2 for EK, and the lead is 2.
You would think that Andrew Carr would be involved in this possession for Kentucky. He's starting away from the ball, which tells me there's going to be some screening action for Carr coming to the ball.
Carr has it on Greg. Carr step back, got it.
Yeah, just stuff you can almost sense it coming.
We are tied.
Really good play call by Mark Pope to start Carr away from the action. He receives a side screen that you can't switch. If you do, it's advantage Carr. And a tie game here.
Tied for the first time here tonight.
Watch Carr. He's going to start away from the ball on the left side of the floor. There's the screen down for Carr. And that's a guard away. That's a side screen. They don't switch it, but it still gets Carr in position right in front of the restricted arc. He's a very gifted 6'11" skilled guy that's good in that mid-post fall-away jump shot stuff. And Mark Pope trusting his gut this second half, knowing that number 7 Carr is his advantage on the offensive end.
What are they looking at over there? Let's see. Is Alandis Poole and Gregory Nixon. We're quickly reviewing something. 58.1 to go, and we're tied at 79 apiece. Gonzaga with the basketball. So the Zags have coughed up a big lead, and Kentucky showed a lot of fight. And under a minute, tied up.
Nembhard only 1 assist in the second half, but he's the nation's best point guard. You expect him to be involved in a closeout possession. This kid with the ball.
Greg comes out to set a screen. Nembhard working with the bigger Brea. Nembhard. Feed to Ike. Inside, off the window, wouldn't fall. Carr the rebound. And Kentucky with an opportunity here. They'll call timeout. And basically no difference, shot clock and game clock. So Mark Pope's team can hold on to it for the final shot.
What a massive effort and comeback by Kentucky. Down 16 at the half, and Gonzaga has been unbeatable with a double-figure lead at halftime. 175 straight. Kentucky not taking anything right now in this game, but just absolute fight back. Now, Andrew Carr has been the guy, and Mark Pope calls that timeout to get the set play that he wants. Ideally, you'd like to take this thing down, Boog, and don't take the last shot, but certainly take the one that gives you time at least for an offensive rebound.
Yep.
You don't want to turn over. You don't want to run out if you're Kentucky. And a lot of times what can cause you to stumble is now you have to get the ball back in bounds if you're Kentucky. You can't take that for granted. So you're drawing up how are we getting it in, and then cleanly what are we going to with our action. No Lamont Butler. No Kerr Creason. You're playing with Jackson Robinson as your point guard right now, and Owe also would be your primary handler.
Yeah, I mean, this has been impressive, hasn't it, in terms
of
the fight that they've shown, but not just that, an undermanned Kentucky team battling and coming back from a big deficit. Mark Pope in his first year as Kentucky head coach, a guy who was thinking about being a doctor. He actually went to med school. Eventually, he dropped out of medical school in 2009 and took a job at Georgia as an assistant under Mark Fox, who's now on his staff.
Yeah, he told us today, I'm still learning every day as a head coach. And he learned a lot about his team at Clemson. He appreciated their fight and how they battled on the boards in the second half and adjusted to the physicality of the game. That's the primary weapon right now that Mark Pope has. He has led Kentucky back. Andrew Carr. You got to get it in here, Boog. I'm telling you, you can't take that part of this thing for granted.
Owe gets it into Robinson. Got a half-second difference. Caleb battle on Owe, who holds. Carr runs at him. Owe at the basket. Rejected. Brea. Short. And we're going to overtime. Oh, man, a couple of good looks at it. Well done by Kentucky and well defended by Gonzaga.
And how about the block by Ike? Owe gets downhill with force. And right here, it looks like he's got a really good look trying to go for the lob to Williams, but Ike just erases it. And Bray at the buzzer just doesn't quite get it down. Man, what a game in Seattle.
Back here in Seattle, and what a ball game. We're headed to overtime. Kentucky and Gonzaga locked up 79 apiece. John Chumby and Jimmy Dykes. Ike's been doing it at both ends. How about this block?
What a big time block by Ike, because Kentucky's trying to throw that lob to the weak side of the rim. And Ike just went straight up with a lot of length and explosiveness to erase that play, because Williams was coming in for what would have been probably a game-winning dunk. And Brea doesn't get that shot to drop, and we play 5 more.
I'm sure Bray is going to be seeing that one in his sleep, and a pretty good mid-range look at it. And meanwhile, this is the story. Ike, who had 18 in the first half, 27 in the game to lead all scorers. Andrew Carr really helped fuel this second half comeback for Kentucky. And as we told you, the Zags led by 16 at the break. 79-79, a top 10 matchup. And we saw Ryan Nembhard, I mean, basically just conduct an orchestra in the first half. In the second half, Kentucky has clamped down, and Nembhard has not been as much of a factor.
I think only once, maybe twice in the second half, Nembhard has come off a ball screen and gotten downhill to that right side. And I've said it before, and I'll continue to say it. The best teams fix the problem within the game. They don't wait till the next day of practice or the next film session. Nembhard was the problem in the first half for Kentucky. He went anywhere he wanted, anytime he wanted. And Mark Pope's little change of defense with his zone look has kind of thrown Gonzaga out of a rhythm. But don't think for a second that 0 and white is not going to have a major impact in this overtime period.
Ike in white, Williams in blue. They jump it up, and the Zags win the tip. Nembhard controls as we start into overtime. Greg inside, had it blocked. Huge defensive play. And now right at the basket, throws it down, and Kentucky has the lead.
How about the pass by Robinson at 6'6"? You got your third string point guard making plays in overtime. Owe just nasty out of that corner.
Nembhard off the mark. Pretty good look at a 3. Robinson up and high. Finds Williams, who puts it home.
Mark Pope may have found a new point guard in Jackson Robinson. It was Andrew Nembhard for Gonzaga in the first half, and now it's Jackson Robinson as a passer to start this overtime period. Robinson right there at 6'6", throws a strike to Owe, who doesn't mess around with it, just attacks the rim. And this pass right here, high risk but great reward. And appreciate Williams to get out in front of the defense. Big guy running rim to rim, and Big Blue Nation chant starts here in Seattle. Kentucky could play in Russia, and Go Big Blue would break out at some point.
83-79. What a start to the extra session for the Wildcats. This is the third straight year that these two teams have played. You and I got a chance to do it a couple years ago at the Civic Arena in Spokane. That was a top 5 matchup, and Gonzaga basically blew their doors off.
They did.
And then last year in Lexington, Gonzaga picked up the win, and it looked like it was going to be more of the same for the first 20 minutes.
It's year 3, I believe, of a 6-year agreement that Coach John Calipari put together with Gonzaga. Going back and forth, some neutral floors mixed in. A high level game. And Kentucky coming off of a loss to Clemson. Went home for a day, then flew to Seattle on Thursday to get ready for this one. Gonzaga's had a week to prepare. These are two of the most dominant brands in all of college basketball. Kentucky, obviously, the winningest program in college basketball history. Gonzaga with 9 straight Sweet 16, the model of consistency.
Yeah, Mark Few, the winningest active coach in college hoops. Few, again, his 26th season at Gonzaga. His team down by 4 with 4:06 to go. But we talked about injuries at the point guard spot. Jackson Robinson for Kentucky has been great here in the second half.
He was the first guy ever at BYU to be the leading scorer off the bench. And he followed Mark Pope to Kentucky because he said, Mark Pope changed my life. He and Cody Feger, the assistant coach. And that's not his primary position, but sometimes you're just forced to do whatever it takes to win. And he looks very confident and has that killer instinct about him right now for this Kentucky team.
He was the Big 12 Sixth Man of the Year last year for BYU. Hickman handling here up top. And they continue to eye Ike. Greg will try a 3. And that one tipped out. Nembhard collects it. Battle will try. Can't hit. Brea. And that one is out of bounds. It'll be Kentucky basketball.
Boog, again, the three-point numbers for Gonzaga.
They're 3 for 24.
It's amazing. It's the worst three-point shooting team percentage-wise that Mark Few has had at Gonzaga. And that number's only getting worse in the last 2 hours.
Amari Williams with Ike on him. Williams going to work. Flips it up and in. And the lead is 6.
He and Ike are very similar, man. They're heavy on that right shoulder and very good around that restricted arc with their left.
My, how things have changed from the first half. Nembhard inside, a little too strong. Nembhard diving for it. Brea comes up with it. Kentucky with the ball, under 3 to go, and they're up 6. Owe hesitation. Up and under, and he's fouled. And it'll be Ike picking up his 4th.
It's almost like Mark Pope at halftime told his guys, if we lose, we're going to lose going down fighting and being way more aggressive than we were in the first half. And this team has grown up in a very difficult place against one of the power programs and one of the best teams in college basketball.
Owe at the line. Kentucky has not missed from the free throw strike. 15 of 15. And there's the first miss. The lead is 7. Stromer.
Yeah, Kentucky played straight zone that time. And the guy in the corner rotated up and forced Jackson Robinson to go from the top of the key to the corner. That's too far to recover.
Brea with Hickman on it. Owe probing, flips it up off the glass. Little strong. Ike rebounds.
Can you
Next down 4.
Can you get Nembhard in a ball screen and let him go to work? He's the best in college ball off of an on-ball screen.
Nembhard. Huge 3. And it's a 1-point game.
Tough guys make tough shots.
86-85 timeout Kentucky. 1:34 to go here in overtime.
Luke Nembhard got in a ball screen and he got a switch, but Kentucky did a good job of staying in front of him. Did not let him get downhill. But first we're going to look at Stromer. No, I'm sorry, this is Nembhard to start with. That's the shot right there. They got a mismatch, and Williams just not quite quick enough to recover to that reload three. And the back bounce by Nembhard into the shot.
It's the 15th battle in Seattle. Here we come to you from Climate Pledge Arena. John Chambee and Jimmy Dykes. If you're just joining us, where you been?
Yeah,
and if you're just joining us, Gonzaga led by 16 at the break. Kentucky with a mad fight in the second half without their point guard Lamont Butler, who sat with an ankle injury, without their backup point guard Kirk Kriisa, who started and then in the second half went down with cramping, or at least we deduced as much, but certainly an injury, and hasn't played since. They've gotten great production out of Jackson Robinson, and they lead it by a point with 1:34 to go.
And a lot to cover right now, but Kentucky has the possession arrow, only one timeout. So you remind your guys, if there is a tie ball, don't waste our timeout, it's going to be ours. And that second half by Kentucky has just been really magical to watch, because you're on the road right now in a sold-out arena. And the fight back they've had under man and playing a different lineup than Mark Pope probably figured he'd play tonight. Where is Andrew Carr on this possession?
Ray looking for space.
There he is.
Carr the rebound. And the putback will go. Mark Few calls timeout.
Well, Andrew
19 for Carr.
Excuse me, Boog. And Andrew Carr got loose. And the action wasn't for Carr, but you can't forget about him. He's on the left side of your screen right there. And when this shot's taken, there's no one. No one. That's a free run for Carr. And just a breakdown on the glass defensively by Gonzaga. And Andrew Carr has been playing lights out in this second half. Transfer from Wake Forest. His official visit, actually, the plane got delayed or canceled, and Mark Pope drove and picked him up 2.5 hours in the car by himself and said, you're a must get for me. And you're seeing why tonight.
Carr started his career at his dad's alma mater, Delaware. His dad played at Delaware also, moved on to Wake Forest, and he has made quite an impact here in this game. 88-85, 109 to go in OT. Mark Few called timeout, and he had Nembhard on the bench. Got to assume Ryan will come back in. Possession arrow favors Kentucky. Double bonus. And each team with a timeout.
Luke, I think it's worth mentioning again, Gonzaga has a streak of 175 straight games they have won when they've led by double figures at half. They had a 16-point lead in this one at halftime. I guess there's a clock issue. The clock never ran. 2001,
oh, yeah.
2002, 2003. Probably 3 or 4 seconds should come off of that.
Yep.
That game clock should probably be set to 1:05, somewhere in that vicinity. But they're going to have to reset the game clock and the shot clock. Man, these are the kind of games, though, that you learn so much about your team. And Mark Pope, they got knocked around at Clemson on Tuesday night. They got knocked around the first half, and it's almost like he told his guys, we're going to draw a line in the sand right now. And enough is enough is enough. And they're 109 away or 105 away, whatever they end up with, of getting a big-time win here in Seattle.
So it's down to 102.
Wow. They count quicker than I do.
Well, hey, You know, the Jimmy Dykes internal stopwatch every once in a while.
It's hard to speed me up, Boo.
It
like
is.
Nimhart. But it doesn't make sense. If it went from 109 to 102, why does it only go from 30 to 26 on the shot clock? See what I'm saying?
I do.
You took 7 off of one and only 4 off the other.
I don't have a good answer for you there.
Big zone. Will Kentucky stay in it or go to man on the first pass? Now they're switching man now.
We got a foul, I believe, on Bray. Yeah. As he was matched up with the bigger EK, and that's 4 on Kobe Bray.
Luke, that defense, though, has made Gonzaga stagnant. You can see them thinking about it right now. Are we zone? Are we man? Or are we running? There's no ball screen action. You've taken away the fastball of Gonzaga if you're Kentucky in the second half with this defensive change.
EK leading all scorers in this game. And that one in and out, and that's big. 28 for EK. The lead is 2.
I don't think Mark will call a timeout on this. He might. It's his last one if he burns it. There it is.
So 32.9 to go, 88-86. We're in overtime, and Kentucky trying to pull off a big win. Andrew Carr in the second half has been a huge factor, and a team laden with transfers, leaning on the transfer from Wake Forest.
Well, he's an ideal piece in that Mark Pope offensive system. He wants his bigs to be versatile, play starters, ball screeners, guys that can score outside the three-point line and inside the three-point line. And Carr is exactly that description. Now, what happened when the last time we were in this situation at the end of regulation? He went with Oweh going downhill. And if you're Mark Pope, you're in the double bonus. And I would expect him to get some type of downhill forceful action. But certainly, man, the battle is won. I played for a guy named Eddie Sutton who broke out of every huddle in a situation like this and said the game will be decided on the glass. If you're Gonzaga, you have to hit all 5 guys if there's a miss. And if you're Kentucky, you crash the glass, but you make sure you have defensive balance. And again, you can't take for granted just to get the dadgum ball in right now if you're Kentucky.
Oweh inbounds. Robinson with Stromer on him. Carr with a little rub. Robinson towards the basket. Shot clock winding down. Good job by Stromer. Robinson inside. Puts it home. Huge shot, Jackson Robinson. Oh, and a 3 right there by Hickman.
Jackson Robinson has been phenomenal.
Man.
Forced to play the point because of injuries. He told Mark Pope a couple years ago, Coach, I don't really like to play the point. Well, tonight you're going to have to do it, son, to close us out. He gets downhill and takes a shot off of his left foot, a runner from about 10 feet.
With
and
his
the
body going towards the left sideline and the baseline. And then Hickman drills that one. So a 1-point game.
It was well defended by Bray at 6'7". I mean, Hickman stepped and got him to lean back just a little bit. Kentucky with no timeouts left, Boo. They can run that baseline, but they've got to get the ball in. They can't expect the official to make a call. They're going to have to be strong with the ball, and the value of getting it in right now.
They just added a 1/10 of a second, so now 5 seconds left. All right, so just for multiple scenarios, Gonzaga's going to try and steal. Then they're going to foul.
No doubt.
My question is, then at the other end, if Kentucky makes 2, is Mark Pope a guy that will foul?
No, he will play it out. He will play it out. He trusts his defense. And he's an analytical guy, but I had that conversation with him, I believe, at Clemson. He said, I'm a guy that trusts my defense. If you're Kentucky, get it in and cover the ball up. You know contact's coming. If you're Gonzaga, you're fighting your tail off right now to face front, get a 5 count or a steal on the inbound.
1-point game. They can't get the steal. They do get the foul, and it'll be Carr who will go to the line.
And Andrew Carr is such a weapon, Boog. We've seen what Mark Pope has done with him offensively, but now as the press breaker guy, he wins the foot race to the ball. And you want guys that want to be in this position, that want the ball and want to be fouled. And Carr comes in tonight right at 80% from the free throw line.
Carr from the line, 3 for 3 in the game. 75% in his career. And for the season, 79%. 2 shots. The kid from Westchester, Pennsylvania. And that one rattles out. That's huge.
We know that Gonzaga has time for 3, easily 4 possible bounces of the basketball for a shot to tie it or possibly win it. You got the nation's best point guard, Andrew Nembhard. That will be most likely your play initiator.
Oh, he missed them both. And now Stromer. Stromer had it stripped away. Loose ball. And that's the ball game. Kentucky wins it 90-89 in overtime. The mad scramble. And how about the Wildcats? They come to Seattle and pick up a huge win. Mark Pope's team showed a lot of grit.
Mugen, and an instant classic in Seattle. That streak of 175 straight games that Gonzaga has won with a double-figure lead at halftime has stopped, and it's all on the shoulders for the most part of Jackson Robinson, forced to play the point guard position for Kentucky down the stretch, and Andrew Carr. And man, what a fight back and a test of your gut and your inner strength. Look at Carr from behind right there with the reach and the rip, and the celebration of Big Blue Nation erupts in Seattle. And what a week for Kentucky, man. A brutal stretch to go to Clemson, who I think is a top 25 team, and then come to Gonzaga and take down a top 10 team.
Without their point guard, Lamont Butler, Kirk Kriisa hurt down the stretch. Andrew Carr leads the comeback. And in OT, Kentucky wins it here in Seattle over Gonzaga, 90-89. For Jimmy Dykes and our entire outstanding crew, I'm John Chambi. Thanks so much for watching. So long from Seattle.